It's time to look and feel good from your head to your open-toed stilettos. What do cutting calories and wearing that low-cut dress have in common when it comes to your mind and metabolism? Get ready to find out. Welcome to Ladies. It's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels, where wellness meets fashion. I'm Julie Sagoskin, fashion and lifestyle editor, here to address your dressing do's and don'ts.
I'm Lisa Avellino, fitness phenom and fitness director at Balance 3H Plus Medical Weight Loss and Aesthetic Spa in Westchester, New York, working out with you to shake it off the smart way.
I'm Jacqui Justice, nutrition ninja and nutrition director at Balance 3H Plus. Forget fad diets. It's about finding your diet.
Now, let's get on with the show.
Welcome to Ladies. It's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels. I'm Jacqui Justice, and I'm here with Julie Sagoskin and Lisa Avellino. Boy, do we have a great show with you today.
Woohoo!
We're going to be having, as usual, lots of great tips on fashion, fitness, and nutrition. And we have a great guest today, Joan London, who's going to be talking about her book, Why Did I Come in This Room? A really hysterical look at aging. Hey, guys. How was your weekend?
The weekend was good. The week is great, and we're really excited about today. And Joan, we're all wearing a little red for the cover of Joan's new book. She's fantastic, and one of my personal mentors and role models. I think was just an incredible host all those years, and we just love her. So
love her.
Can't wait to delve into this exciting book.
It's hysterical on every level. Julie, how are you doing?
I'm so excited to be back with you guys. Definitely the week went by fast, so glad to be here on the Saturday morning with everyone. And as Jacqui said, we cannot wait for Joan to be on with us. I think she is America's sweetheart host still. We remember her Good Morning America, and she's been through so much. We all know her public battle with breast cancer and appearing bald on the cover of People magazine. So she has not been shy about her struggles and overcoming hardships. She's such an inspiration, and we cannot wait to talk to her about her tips, secrets, aging, not aging. You guys always look amazing.
But after reading this, I'm actually excited about aging. She really puts a positive spin on it, which I think is really something I've never seen anyone else do.
Well, she's going to give us all her tips, but I also think the fact that she did photograph herself bald is so inspiring, because it shows that who and what you are comes through from the inside out.
Yeah, and she showed her vulnerability.
And so we can say bald is beautiful, and it sounds like bold. So just say that with that little accent, bold. And I just love her energy, and it's bold. And we're going to hear all about it today.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a little tip.
That's a drum roll.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
Yeah.
Bring it on, Jacqui.
So Joan talks a lot about wellness and nutrition in her book, which is great. And I learned something I never knew. You know, I talk all the time about hydration, my shower on the inside, and all those little tips I give. Well, I never knew this. When you're taking a glass of water, when you're drinking water, do it sitting down.
Oh.
And that way, your kidneys are able to filter it better, and the water goes where it needs to go. It doesn't just wash through you.
Okay.
So
everyone
that is
get
a
out.
Major tip.
Start recording in your phone and your notes. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you. I will never stand to drink water again.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a chair.
And I know she also says it's important, the first thing when you wake up, grab your glass of water. I don't know about everyone at home, but when I wake up, I need 10 cups of coffee to start my day.
Nope. Shower on the inside first, girlie.
Yes, I know. I need Jacqui's mantra going on in my head more, but I know that was a big tip to remember, so we don't deplete our energy levels. We want to stay as healthy as possible for the rest of the day.
It's
So
just a
drink
small
up.
thing to do with such big results. Drinking water, right?
Yeah, it's very interesting. One of my clients was complaining that she had stomach pains and she was hungry all the time. And when we increased her water levels, she didn't have the hunger pains. And very often when your body is in shutdown mode, I often say it's either under construction because you're rebuilding it and replace it, or it's in conservation. So when you're dehydrated, it's almost like imagine your cells in fetal position shutting down. When you're dehydrated, that sort of gnawing can mimic hunger and pain.
It's the same cues.
Right.
Hunger and thirst.
Right.
Same
So
cues.
you may not be hungry, you may be dehydrated.
Right. So another tip is before you eat, drink a glass of water.
Absolutely. And I always say room temperature because I don't recommend.
They used to say years ago ice cold to spur your metabolism, but it just shuts down your digestion.
Yeah.
So I think room temperature, a little lemon in it.
Very good. And a beautiful glass, right? It has
It's
to
all
be
about
dressed
the
beautiful.
It has to look good to
See,
make you
that's-
feel good.
yeah, that's
The
very
special.
patterns, the designers, they're all into making plates and everything fun, even matching your clothes.
Really?
Oh, yes.
To your
it's a
plates?
big trend. Oh, my gosh. I mean, Masoli has a label. There's so many big designers these days. They've gotten into homeware. So rugs, your china patterns, your glasses. It doesn't just stop when you get home and
Wow.
kick off your high heels. It's really how you decorate your home, and it's about the lifestyle. Ralph Lauren, of course,
Yes.
is big into that. You can even get his coffee now, the Ralph Cafe.
Oh, really?
So it's all about
You see, where
living your life.
lifestyle and beautiful packaging and dressing meets wellness and health. I remember back in the 90s, I treated myself to a Versace cup, but I couldn't afford the whole set. But I had one cup.
And it
I
made
would
you feel
have
special.
yes, exactly. I would have my lemon water out of a Versace cup.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
Hermes too big on the
Really?
china.
See
Yes.
that?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Forget the bags.
Just
Eat well if you have nice plates, right?
Exactly. Treat yourself.
Wow.
All right,
Okay.
so-
Did not know that either.
All right. So, Julie, do you have our fashion tip where wellness meets fashion? Do you have our fashion tip for our listeners today?
Well, I would say it's such a beautiful fall day out, so it always makes me want to think about gorgeous leather jackets, faux fur jackets, and I'll say when it comes especially to leather pieces, it's really an investment, sort of like a Birkin bag. It's something you'll have forever, a long time. It's a piece worth investing in, good quality. It doesn't have to be designer, but something that fits you well. You can really dress it up, dress it down. You put some studs on it. You're a rock star. You've got some edge. You can go to work. You can come home. Pantsuits, dresses, boots. I just love the leather look. We're also seeing this season pattern, so even trench coats. Faux fur coats. They're sustainable. They're fun. They fit well, any body type really. And we just see that's major snake prints, cheetah prints, just having fun. And of course today, as much fun as we can have, the better.
With matching masks.
Yes.
Yes, and gloves matching. I love that. Thank you so much. That's a great tip. And what I love about the idea of investing in a leather jacket is that you can just grab it for the weekend and wear it with your jeans. And then you can wear it over a little black dress, so you can dress it up or down. Or if you're even going to work out, you can add another layer on your way. So it really,
Extremely versatile.
yes.
Extremely. And Lisa, I love your red leather jacket.
Well, I
Look at
grabbed
that.
it today
Supermodel.
in honor of our amazing guest, Joan London. Look, it's the exact shade. So
It
thank you,
certainly
Joan. You've
is.
inspired me to grab my fall leather jacket out today to match your book. So excited. Well, my fitness tip of the day really is about spending time outside and the word sneaky. Sneaky workout. Old millennium thinking, having been in the industry and owning women's fitness centers for decades with my family, is really the old thinking was I have to drive to the gym, I have to bring my workout clothes, get in the locker room, get on the workout floor, take a class, maybe warm up on the treadmill and do some abs. So it became a 2-hour commitment 2 or 3 times a week. Today, lifestyle, even if it's COVID and you're working from home, it's about 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes of hiking or yoga stretching.
It's doable.
Yeah, and it's the cumulative effect of those little mini workouts. It's ramping up. It's kind of like investing. You're always starting at a new set point rather than sort of the yo-yo dieting on again, off again.
Yeah.
So
And
you
it's
just-
something that someone can do. They don't, like if you tell someone, you've got to go to the gym for an hour, they're so quickly going to make excuses for not doing that. But if you say, oh, do this for 10 minutes, then maybe do this for another 5 minutes, it's definitely doable. And it's something that
Absolutely.
people, will get behind and won't avoid doing.
And they can't say they don't have time.
Right. Everyone has 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can even do pelvic floor exercises and stand on one leg and do core exercises while you're brushing your teeth. I'm sure, Jacqui, you have...
I have a whole
You have a whole
workout.
routine.
If anyone saw me do my hair, I'm also doing kickbacks. That's how I time
Great.
how long to keep the iron in my hair. It's hysterical. But, that's what works for me.
Or while you're in the shower, you're drinking water, having a shower on the inside
Well,
and on the
I don't
outside.
go that far.
No,
but-
okay.
Does walking around in heels count?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Okay,
hard
good.
doing that.
That's my exercise, my cardio, walking around in my apartment or to Bloomingdale's.
Yeah.
That's exercise.
Well, if you ever
Look on the
wondered if you
Fitbit.
burn more calories wearing high heels or gym shoes, which would you guess?
Oh, I would guess the high heels because it's so hard to keep balance, and you've got to keep your core in and your butt in and walk a certain way so that you don't fall over. So I definitely would say high heels.
Very good. Ding, ding, ding. You got it right. It's also in fitness and physical therapy. Extremity length is a factor, so taller, elevated. Certainly the weight of the shoes is generally heavier, and you hit it, Jacqui, it's balance work because of the
balance work.
transfer of weight. But I don't recommend wearing shoes all the time. We'll get into that later. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.
B3H Plus is a doctor-created, medically supervised total wellness program that uses evidence-based science that's helped thousands of women who have felt hopeless, fat, frustrated, and scared to reclaim their youthful spirit and zest for life. It's designed to overcome hormonal imbalances that can lead directly to food cravings, overeating, unwanted weight gain, and guaranteed to free you permanently from sugar cravings, the diet mentality, and calorie counting. Your roadmap begins with the most comprehensive female blood panel today that isolates hormonal imbalances and their underlying causes that are causing you to become overly fat, sick, tired, and angry. If left unchecked, these imbalances can cause major health risks, including serious weight gain, osteoporosis, heart disease, and even certain cancers. Clearly, it's important to balance the body's hormones to their optimum levels to help you refresh and reboot, live more vigorously, and look younger, longer. Call today, 1-855-ILUVB3H, 1-855-458-8234, or go to balance3hplus.com.
Welcome back to
Ladies, it's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels. Welcome back to Ladies. It's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels. On AM 970, The Answer, I am joined with my lovely co-host, the amazing Lisa Avellino and Jacqui Justice. And we are so excited to welcome Joan London, author of Why Did I Come Into This Room? I think a lot of us have also had that same thought many times. It's a candid conversation on aging. Joan has been in the television business. She has her own production company. She's fought her own battles fiercely and courageously. Such an inspiration to us, to women around the world. Welcome, Joan. We are so happy to have you with us. Yay!
Woo! Standing ovation.
The name of your show, I had to say yes.
Like Smuckers, it has to be good.
Absolutely.
Oh, Joan, first of all, we all want to thank you for writing this book because it's not only funny, but it's informative and inspiring for women of pretty much any age.
I've really gotten, I get a lot of kind of self-gratification, I guess, out of writing books because I've always been in television and particularly live television. And it's much needed, but also fleeting. It's like sometimes we do a postmortem after Good Morning America, and we'd all look at each other and say, all right, but it's already out there. Let's talk about tomorrow. Like there's nothing you can do about it. But with a book, it stays in a person's possession. And I have women say to me, I have your book on my bedside, right on my bedside counter, and I pick it up and read it, and it gives me inspiration and hope, but it also gives me motivation sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's just so incredibly great, to hear. It's what sends me back to the laptop to start writing again.
Oh, I bet. Well, you know what? Honestly, this really is a must-have guidebook on managing healthy and happy aging. I mean, you really want to get the hardcover book on this one and a package of highlighters because it really has some great information, some great tips, and a ton of inspiration. So thank you.
And I think what's also important is hitting that note of humor. We know that laughter is the best medicine. And sometimes a woman may not share these conversations, even with their closest friend, because they're embarrassed or they just think they're the only one. So here you are creating this resource book of great tips with humor, and laughter is the best medicine. Thank you, Joan. What is your favorite?
Well, that's the reason why I wrote it. I mean, the impetus to do this book, I remember years ago when after I'd written this is my 10th book, after I'd written the first couple, Healthy Cooking, Healthy Living, and of course when they're bestsellers, the publisher comes back and says, "Oh, write another one." I remember I looked at my book agent one day and said, "What am I going to write about next?" And he said to me, "You will always write about that which you want to know more about."
That's great.
He couldn't have been more spot on. You know, when I left Good Morning America, I was going through a huge change, like in front of the nation. I wrote "A Bend in the Road is Not the End of the Road." It was a book about change. I wrote, when I went through my breast cancer, I wrote Had I Known, a battle of, that breast cancer journey. And as I sat, and I've been working on this book for some time, but it hadn't gotten into the proper focus. And when I went back and asked myself that question that Al Lohman, may he rest in peace, said to me 40 years ago, I think, I said, well, what am I dealing with and what do I want to know more about? Successful aging, that's what. And I have written with another co-writer on some of the books, and I called her and said, would you like to work on this? She said, I just worked on a book with you about breast cancer, and I got breast cancer. I don't want to write a book about aging. But then she said, I'm really too busy right now, which wasn't true. She was being an incredibly good friend and giving me that little nudge, that little push to believe in myself. And she said, you can write this book by yourself. It's your 10th book. Don't write it. Just remember, you can't talk about leaky bladders without being funny. She said, and you're funny. Just let it go. Let it rip. So as I went back to write it, I knew I had to do it with humor. But I got to tell you, it was kind of like, I don't know, like exercising my courage muscle a little bit. To think that you can write and be humorous and that it's all going to come off right. And once I got into it, it was so much fun writing this book, even just finding my chapter titles. And I remember one day my husband walked through you have to walk through my home office to get to our bedroom. And he said, oh, what are you working on today? I said, actually, leaky bladders. And he said, oh, you can't say that. I mean, you can't just say leaky bladders. I said, are you kidding? I said, the title of the chapter is I Laughed So Hard Tears Rolled Down My Leg. And he gave me that arched eyebrow, like, are you sure you should be doing this? I said, wait until you get to the last chapter. I said, honey, the last chapter is I want to be cremated. It's my last chance for a smoking hot body.
Oh, that is hysterical.
Oh, my God, I hope you're okay doing this.
Oh, that's hilarious. And your quotes are hilarious, too.
Well, I'm a collector of quotes. Different people collect different things. And I collect quotes.
Wow.
And I just love them. There's a certain something about them, like a few words that make a big statement that stay with you forever.
Right.
And that can stick in the back of your mind and help literally guide you in life. So I collect them all. I keep them all. And every book I've done, I've always used quotes in them, and people always love it. So I'm not the only one that loves quotes.
What I love about your quotes is that it's almost like the cheat sheet to the whole chapter. So if that sticks in your mind, it's a great reference point. That's what I love about it. So thank you for that.
And you really get us thinking. Joan, you really get us thinking. You ask the reader very thought-provoking questions like, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? Like, if you really sit down.
And you guys, so wait a minute, you can't say that without answering it. I want to hear what.
Okay.
I can tell you, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Not that I mind getting older, but I can't believe I'm saying that I just turned 70. Like,
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And you're an inspiration.
Great. No one would ever know.
Okay, so Jacqui.
I think when I think of myself, when I think of Joan London, who I am, my age in my head is always 45.
Yeah.
Cool. So Jacqui, now you answer.
And they say everyone has a number. So who goes first?
So
Lisa?
I'm going to say, no, I'm Jacqui, and I'm going to say,
Okay.
My number is somewhere between 42 and 43, but I'm actually working on being ageless like that Moroccan woman. That's what I really want to be, ageless like the Moroccan woman. Okay?
Okay, Julie.
All right,
in your book.
Right. And I want to talk about the Moroccan woman. Lisa, how about you?
Okay, well, when someone...
You probably have a very young number since you're a fitness person.
Well, it's very interesting. Physically, I'm about 18 to 25, where a adult human peaks. If I can do 1,000 jumping jacks and get up and teach classes every day, inspire, I'm stronger every day. So that's in the 18 to 25. That's physically. Mentally, wisdom, I want to say hundreds of years old. And my actual age is, and I just divide by 3, so I'm like 270. All right, Julie.
All right, so nobody's giving their actual age. Julie, how about you?
Okay, well, I'll start. I'll give my age. I'm 32, but I'd like to say in fact, I forget how old. I say to people, oh, I'm 29. I think once I hit that 30 in my head, I still can't believe I'm not in my teens or 20s anymore. It seems like a big milestone. So,
I think one of my chapter titles is I'm 45 plus shipping and handling.
I love that.
That's great.
That's great.
Because I kind of got off the age train at that point. But you mentioned the Moroccan lady, and that's what started me down that path. And I thought this book is not just about hot flashes and expanding waistline and inability to sleep and inability to lose weight is easy. It's also our idea of age and how the concept of age can really limit us. Because there's a lot of people that say, well, I can't do that anymore because I'm too old. Mm-hmm. Like, wait a minute, who told you were too old for something? When I had my 3 teenage daughters in Morocco, I just thought it'd be a great trip. I wanted to take them to somewhere where people had practically nothing and live their lives happily to try to make them have more of an appreciation for everything they had. And we had gone to the Sahara Desert, and we were now driving back and out along one side of the road in kind of the desert, but not the Sahara, were a bunch of sheep herders. And our driver, thus our guide and translator, pulled over to the side of the road and asked if we could go into their tent. It was a big tent where they all went in to sleep at night. And there was this woman, and obviously an old woman, but, she had her face was weathered from the sun in the desert, so you really didn't know how old she was. But in our conversation through the translator, at one point I decided to ask. And I asked her how old she was, and she looked at me and she said, I don't even understand what that means. Because they are born out there on the desert. There are no birth certificates. There are no calendars. There was no TV, I don't think they even had any cell phones, nothing. And she had no concept of her age. So when the seasons changed and it was time to pull that tent down and wrap up everything inside the tent and put it on top of a donkey and go 100 or 200 miles, she didn't think, gee, am I too old to do this? She just did it.
Ageless.
It's all about mindset.
And I thought, wow, the freedom of that. To never have to look in, like I look in the mirror sometimes and I'll say, is this okay for my age? I hate that qualifier.
We got to wipe that out.
Well, short for my age? Are these, can I wear ripped jeans for my age?
I say yes.
I say yes.
Yes, we love ripped jeans here. We'll be right back on AM 970 The Answer. Keep it right here with Joan London.
When it comes to finding the freshest new fashions, Julie Sagoskin, editor-in-chief of Resident Magazine, has made her mark on this ever-evolving industry. Whether it's looking over the latest looks from the front row of Fashion Week or hunting for the next head-turning designer, this energetic editor is sought after for her insider insights on the industry. She got her start interviewing fashion designers and stylists behind the scenes and writing about the business of fashion. During her tenure at Resident Magazine, she's been instrumental in helping to make the fashion industry more inclusive by showcasing and supporting both models and designers of all sizes and ethnicities. Through her insights and sharp eye for spotting the next big big thing, Julie continues to make fashion more accessible for all. With wellness trends impacting the fashion world more than ever before, Julie has been at the forefront of exploring how these two industries continue to influence each other. According to Julie, it's all about style and sustainability.
We're back with
Ladies, it's not our fault.
It's our hormones and high heels.
Welcome back to Ladies, It's Not Our Fault. It's our hormones and high heels on AM 970, The Answer. If you were with us, you have heard already some amazing tips from Joan London, why she came into this room, and we're glad she came into this studio with us today. We're very happy to have her. She has really been through so much, and she's candid about everything, and we really appreciate that. So, Joan, thanks again for being with us.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so she asked the question, can she wear ripped jeans? Miss Julie, take it away.
Because my husband says no.
Oh.
My husband says that he thinks that's for, 20-somethings and 30-somethings, but he said, I don't think you should wear ripped jeans.
Well, Joan, I think you can wear anything. So you tell your husband next time he says anything,
Julie.
I said so.
No, she's asking seriously. So I think that how you're wearing them, where you're wearing them, and what you're wearing them with, there's a time and a place.
Okay.
If they fit well and you feel beautiful from the inside out, and the jeans aren't wearing you, where you're sort of lost in them and it's just a jean look, that's not good. But if you're adding, I don't know, maybe an opaque black stocking underneath, you have it layered, you have a cool
duster.
boot, a duster, and then it's just almost like wearing a cool piece of jewelry or an accessory. It's just having fun. I would have way more fun in a pair of jeans that are ripped, that I created my own outfit, than a sort of just perfect pair of new jeans. That's not fun.
Look, and today they make so many kinds. I would say even for myself,
I know.
Some of them, they're so ripped, you
Yeah, like a
almost think, is there
moderate
anything
rip.
left in these pants? But no,
the ones I have are so minutely ripped.
That's
because,
Oh, you go wild, Joan.
but but you know what? We all have our style, and I don't wear something because it's trendy if it's not Joan London-y. I mean, it's not about what other people expect me to be in, but it's also how I think we all have to understand our style.
Yes.
And how we want to present ourselves and how we feel the best in them. And so I'm much more, I come from, the 80s and 90s doing morning TV. So I'm a little bit more traditional, a little bit more classic chic. I'm really not out there that much. And so, the new thing is like joggers and pants that go in, at the ankle. That doesn't look good on me. I'm better with a straight leg or a stovepipe and I know that. I know that my body looks better that way. So I always feel better dressing in something that looks good on me as opposed to what's necessarily the latest fad or trend.
Yeah, and I think that's really what fashion is. It's about the fit, how you feel in it. If you feel like that's your style, you're going to look good in it. It's going to be about accessorizing, the shoes you put with it. So definitely, I think if you feel good in it, there's no age limit. And like you said, you're 45, so it's perfectly acceptable. But honestly, it's anything.
Thank you very much for that.
Even leggings, if you wear it with the right sweater dress, you can do that. It's just about comfortability, and I'm sure you look great.
The one thing, if you are wearing them, from my perspective, I would not wear a very busy top and a lot of busy prints with it. I would wear that.
Yeah, I don't do that anyway. But.
Yeah, I would wear that with a solid black sweater and a solid boot.
Me too.
Where that the little cuts would just, it's kind of fun and flirty and just an accent. That's just from my corner.
Well, you have high heels in your title of the show. My body says no more to high heels. It was a use by date. I've given all my high heels to my older daughters because my feet won't allow it anymore. So I'm, if I'm going to go out in the wintertime, I'm much more likely into wearing like a cute little skirt and sweater with tights and fun boots, but flat boots. And that way you're dressed up, but the hardest thing is when you go to something that's, like a gala, and you just, it's so hard to wear. Sometimes you can get away with the full-on gown because I can't see that you don't have high heels on. But I can't wear high heels anymore.
Well, the new high is anything above barefoot. So if you have a kitten heel,
okay,
or
there you go,
just a 1 inch, that's a new heel, and there's no such thing that
doesn't
a high heel has to be.
No, that's right.
Right, 4 inches or 5 inches.
There's so many cute flats out there, and even when you're saying for a gala, wedding, even dressy, we're seeing just embellishments, embroidery, brooches. So you can even wedding gowns. I see now brides lifting up their dress and they're wearing sneakers underneath. Comfort.
Oh yes, that's like a trend.
It's all about comfort.
Well, I think that the smart thing is that, well, first of all, we all have to talk about these things, and that's really the reason why I wrote the book, is because I think that when you don't feel comfortable talking about all these different stages that you go through as we age, everything from not being able to wear high heels to, having a leaky bladder, like all these different things, women don't want to talk about them because they're embarrassed by them. But they're not just embarrassing, they're worrisome. And if you just experience it by yourself, you think, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Am I medically, is there something wrong? And then you go to, am I less appealing? Am I less sexy? Am I less relevant? And it's a terrible path to go down.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw everything out there. Nothing was off limits, so that everyone could read and say, oh my gosh, these are just natural. Every other woman is having the same thing happen to them that's happening to me. It makes you feel so less alone. It makes you more apt to talk to a doctor about it or a friend. And there happen to be a lot of fixes for a lot of the things that we go through. But I also wanted to talk about things that were important. Like, we have these expanding waistlines. I look down one day and say, swear to God, I did not eat more Tostitos last year. I didn't do this to myself. Well, the truth is, I learned through research, we don't do it to ourselves. Our bodies naturally, as females, and we experience aging way different from men because of our estrogen, is that we have these fat cells that we naturally carry in our hips and thighs that kind of ready us for having a baby, and the belly growing bigger, and they stabilize us. But your body is really smart, and it knows when there's no more estrogen. And it says, okay, she's not in childbearing years. We don't need to be here anymore. And those are pre-programmed, and they naturally go up to our abdomen. And women can't figure out why, 3 months ago they had a waistline, and what happened? Well, that's what happened. And I think it's better to understand that so that you don't totally beat up on yourself. But at the same time, you need to understand that any fat above your belly button is the most dangerous fat. It's, up, it can get into your organs and become visceral fat. It's up close to the heart. But then the good news, and that's what we would turn to Lisa for, is that if you lose about 10 to 12 pounds, you can take about an inch off your waist. And every woman should measure her waist. I don't know about, I've never had a doctor measure my waist. Have any of you ever had a doctor measure your waist?
Never.
No, it's not part of.
I haven't found a woman yet that's had a doctor measure her waist, and yet experts say that one of the best predictors of type 2 diabetes, of obesity, of cardiovascular disease is your waist measurement. And for females, it really shouldn't be over 35.
Yeah.
For males, about 40. And I ran right out and got one of those, little tape measures and put it around my waist. And, we all need to do that. They tell us to know our numbers, but it's not only our resting heart rate and our cholesterol level. It's also that waist measurement. And if yours is way above what it should be, the good news is you can do something about it. So, I wanted to lay out the facts, and then I wanted to lay out small changes. And I'm sure that that's the way, Lisa and Jacqui, you have to approach your clients.
Yeah.
Little changes that make a huge difference in our health and our longevity.
Exactly right. You can't give someone too much to do at once, because then they just won't do anything.
Yep.
So little by little.
Right.
But Joan, I do measure I do measure women's waists when I work with them. That's the first thing I do.
See?
Yeah,
well, that's because you're a woman.
Yeah, that's right, and a nutritionist. So, I think doctors should do it too, but at least us nutritionists are out there doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so important.
I started teaching fitness classes back in the early 1980s, and one of the first things that we were taught was measure waistlines. And I'm just so happy that what we thought with our instincts actually has come to fruition with research, because being in the business back in the 80s and 90s, it was really not looked at where it is today. And today women want to be healthy, they're educated, they understand body fat percentage, and also the importance of breathing to lower cortisol levels and to release endorphins. So we want to talk more about that, but we love, this is a must-have. Everyone has to go out and buy this book, not just your royal fans, but you have all new fans, Joan. We're so excited. We will be right back.
Known as New York's leading lifestyle and luxury publication, Resident Magazine has been bringing the best of fashion, travel, dining, real estate, celebrity news, and more to the Big Apple for over 3 decades. With award-winning content and photography, including exclusive interviews and cutting-edge fashion spreads, as well as celebrity covers, Resident has been featured in media outlets across the country. From Manhattan to the Hamptons, Resident Magazine continues to bring you the latest trends and inside style scoop. Catch up on the latest health and wellness stories, or learn how the travel industry is adapting to these unprecedented times. Pick up your copy of Resident today or subscribe at residentpublications.com. That's residentpublications.com, and read about what all the New York residents are raving about. residentpublications.com. We return now to
Ladies, it's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels. Welcome back to Ladies. It's not our fault. It's our hormones and high heels. And Joan London, thank you again for being with us, giving us again even more tips. I hope now you're in your ripped jeans, all comfortable.
And laughing out loud.
Yes.
I'm in my yoga
But not
pants.
piecing.
Okay. Not piecing.
But really, we've so enjoyed this book, and I think women from all over can really relate to it. I know you even bring up a point in here where you say that you're more confident at this stage and this stage of your life. You've come to appreciate things so much more. So I think even people and younger generations can relate to that, and hopefully really appreciate and savor this time in their lives to look back on. But I just want to ask you, while you were writing this and doing research, was there anything that really surprised you or that came about that you said, hey, I didn't even think about, or you weren't going to put in the book when you started?
You know, when I first started the book, it was a lot about, I have the book divided into mind, body, and soul. When I wanted to talk about that age, the concept of age, and how it can really limit our possibilities, and of course about the body and all the things we've been talking about. But I also wanted to talk about the soul, and you know, that's actually the biggest part of the book. And there's that old saying, with age comes wisdom, and I really think there is a silver lining of your, you know, past 50s and past 60s and 70s, because it's a time when you kind of give yourself permission to step back and exhale and look at your life and be thankful for all the things you negotiated and managed to make it through. But it's also a time where you can objectively have some self-analysis, some self-reflection, and ask yourself, did I become the person I wanted to be? You know, when they, you know, and it's not a, you know, a morbid idea, but, you know, at the end of the book, I ask people to write their own eulogy. But it's an eye-opener, because what do you want people to say about you in your life? Not just what you did as a professional, but what kind of person you were. And that allows you to almost make that pivot, if you just remember to make that pivot and say, then what do I want to do with my next 10, 20, 30 years? Because these days, when you're in your 60s, you could have easily another 30 years. And it can serve as a wonderful guidepost to how you want to live your life. I feel I've become more patient, more confident, more kind, and everything, because I did that self-reflection. You know, I asked people in the book that if everybody had to wear a placard on the front of them and have one descriptive phrase about them, would it be interrupter or Debbie Downer, or, you know, what would that descriptive? That's also a really good little challenge to put yourself through, because it makes you reflect on what kind of person you become and what you hope people would remember you as. And that's a wonderful way to guide yourself the rest of your life.
Well, mine is suck and tuck. I have all of my clients. So you talk about peasing. I have all of my clients understand that if there's two ways of sitting, there's passive sitting where you're just hanging out, and then there's active sitting. So you can engage your pelvic floor, you can engage your core muscles, you can breathe deep. So even if you're on a Zoom meeting at work or just being mindful of your posture, you're going to increase your oxygen volume, your VO max, and there's something we can all do right now. So let's try it. Feet on the floor. Ready, everyone, all the listeners? Engage the core. Let's sit up really straight. Neck is long, shoulders are anchored and back. And we're going to take a deep breath. Inhale through the nose. Hold that breath. Inhale through the nose deeper. We're actually stretching our lung capacity, and now blow out slowly. And I love in your book, Joan, all your references to the importance of breathing and how important it is. Because when we are experiencing...
And all different kinds, all the different ways you can do it, because everybody will kind of get their favorite one. Mm-hmm. But it can sure take down the stress right now during this time that we're in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so important. Do you have a question for us, Joan?
If I was going to take one thing out of my diet, out of my what I eat, Jacqui, what would it be?
One thing out of your diet, I would say if there's any sugar, and I'm sorry, that means wine, I would definitely lower it in your diet, because that's going to be the thing that causes the insulin and the fat storage and all of those, and the waist expansion and all of that stuff, besides all the other things it does. But I would watch the sugar in your diet.
So that means...
Yeah, and when I went through my chemo, I went on a no wheat, no sugar
program.
What was the other? No, anyway.
Dairy?
I went on super clean. Super clean. Yeah, no dairy, sorry. Mm-hmm. Diet, and it kept me from having all the horrible side effects from chemo because I was just eating so clean. I thank God that I'm not a sweets lover. I'm a crunchy type. I'm crunchy salty.
Crunchy salty.
And if you told me I could never have another sweet ever in the rest of my life, I would say, okay. I wouldn't be like freaked out about it, but I'm a crunchy salty person. So when I snack, I might snack on like pistachio nuts or something. I wouldn't go and snack on something sweet.
Right. Okay. Well, those
and
are
Lisa,
good.
Yes.
And Lisa, my husband got me for my birthday the mirror.
Ooh.
And I love it.
Oh.
I go into my gym here at the house, and I can go on my phone. I can go on my app. I pick out any kind of class I want, from Pilates to stretching to aerobic to hip hop. And I can do them live. I can actually have a person right there in the mirror and follow them live, or I can do it. I can save them. I can do it later. I do hip-hop classes, not because I'm a good dancer. I know every year when Dancing for the Stars calls me, I am smart enough, I'm wise enough to say no.
No, you didn't say no, Joan. You said not yet.
Oh,
and
no,
you'll show up
I say no. Every year I say no, and I'm like a maybe B- C rated, wedding dancer. But I do the hip hop for my brain.
Yes.
I do the hip hop classes, and thankfully they can't see me, but I can see them.
Well, you also, Joan, you also bring that up in your book,
fun.
Which is cognitive thinking, brain receptor to muscle response. And there's something very different.
Aerobic exercise.
Yes.
Nothing better.
Nothing better. But you bring up hip hop and breathing and fitness. And years, we understand the correlation between learning a new language or a crossword puzzle to prevent degenerative not using the brain can turn to mush too. But the interesting thing about combining learning something new with fitness is exponential because you have the element of circulation, heart, you have all your systems activated. So don't stop your hip hop and deep breathing. Except next time wear those ripped jeans and tell your husband, I'm not taking them off. Look how sexy I am.
And we want to see you on Dancing with the Stars, so please. Please sign up.
No, I'm having fun doing it right in my house in front of the mirror. It was the best gift ever.
Oh,
that's during quarantine.
That's
yeah, especially during quarantine.
That's so great because
but
the mirror is a tool, and you can see yourself. You can make
Yep.
those cue adjustments and form alignment and body mechanics, and engaging your core is optimum. So really, without seeing it, you're at a disadvantage. So I love that you got that
Yeah.
gift. All right, your husband wins Best Gift
But it's
Award.
also for your husband. It's also for your brain, and because there's nothing that creates new neurons better than aerobic exercise that pumps nitrogen and oxygen and blood up to your brain. And those neurons are more adept at connecting to the central system than just challenging your brain with a crossword puzzle. And that's how we can keep our cognitive thinking, because that's what we need to really retain if we're going to live these extra 20, 30, 40 years. That's why I opted to call the book, Why Did I Come Into This Room?
Oh.
Because we all do that.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, if we're 20 and we can't remember why we came into a room, it's like, so what? But when you're 45, 55, 65, the first thing you think of is, uh-oh, is this the beginning of something bad? And the good news is that it's usually not. It's usually age-appropriate forgetfulness, because when we're 30 years old, about 30 years old, our hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and recalling a certain word or a person's name, that starts shrinking. They used to think it didn't start shrinking until our 60s. We now know it starts shrinking in our 30s. So we can work to slow down that shrinking. It's like a muscle. You can build it.
That's true, and so important. And I also love when you say that sleep is like a washing machine for your brain.
It absolutely is. And when you don't get that proper sleeping, you wake up the next. When
So true.
neurogenesis occurs, which is the creation of new neurons, there's some like what do you call it? A bunch of
The amyloid?
waste matter is kind of
Amyloid. Yeah.
amyloids. Thank you. Amyloids are created, and you need to wash those out of your brain. And sleep, really good sleep, that's what washes out those amyloids. So if you wake up the next morning and you haven't had a good night's sleep and you feel all foggy and you almost feel kind of hungover, but you didn't drink, that's because you didn't get a chance, your brain didn't get a chance to wash all those out. Sleep is so important.
So important. And it's unfortunate because, so many people, especially women, have an issue with sleep after 40.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Yeah.
And women need to understand that as that estrogen goes down, which, that's what happens in our body. And our body, there's been this wonderful little dance that's gone on our whole life between our estrogen and our insulin. And when that estrogen isn't there anymore, it really changes the dynamic of, how we process the foods that we eat, why it's so much more important to eat healthy, and why it's more difficult to lose weight. So don't beat yourself up. I mean, I think the more women understand about how their body works, the kinder they will be to themselves.
And that's why it's not our fault. It's our hormones.
And that's also why we teamed up for a new line of products called the Skinny Line, where it's all about feeding the cells and nutrient-dense products that can really help support each system to achieve your healthy weight. And we're going to talk more about that when we come back. But from the bottom of our heart, right, girls? We love you, Joan. Thank you for being
so
our
much.
guest.
Thank you for writing this book.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Joan. Thank you.
We are so excited about the Skinny Line. We received Facebook messages and emails, the phone's blowing up. Everyone's so excited, and we already have success stories, because when you feed the body, you feed the cells, the body finds its healthy weight. And we are so excited. A special shout out to Jessica, who lost 3 pounds. We're so excited. And it's even more than that. It's about easy on the go. It's about the ingredients. Jacqui, please inspire the world.
I'm going to talk about my favorite little product, and that's Skinny Spritz. This is like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh, did you hear that? That's
it
hysterical.
totally is. This tiny little bottle with a silly little name,
Skinny Spritz,
packs a serious metabolic punch.
Ooh.
It really does. And that's because of the cutting edge nutrients that are in this. I mean, there is just a amazing amount of incredible products in here. Amino acids, B vitamins,
African mango,
lipotrophics, which are liver nourishing. It's really important to nourish the liver. It is our fat-burning organ of the body. And then aside from that, we have a proprietary blend of African mango, green coffee bean, and raspberry ketones. And all you need to do is just take this little bottle out of your purse right before eating and spray 3 sprays on your tongue. What's going to happen is that you're going to immediately start burning excess body fat. It's going to reduce your appetite and cravings. So these are like I call them the roadblocks to weight loss, is when people are hungry, when they've got, an excessive appetite, when they've got cravings. Cravings are absolutely the worst.
Take the edge off.
Take the edge off. So if you can find a product that's going to take away that roadblock, that's the most important thing. It really is. If you're hungry and you're craving, you're not going to stay on any diet. It's just impossible. So anyway, we've got that. It increases your energy. I have to tell you that
you're walking faster.
Oh my God,
you're dancing.
Forget it. Thinking faster,
like better in your clothes.
It's amazing.
Yes. It's all natural,
right?
Yeah, and it is. It's all natural. There is. These ingredients are pharmaceutical grade. They get absorbed immediately. It's really quite a miracle little product. It really is. Decreases inflammation, which we know is at the root cause of every chronic health issue.
And precursor to disease.
And inflammation causes weight gain. Weight gain causes inflammation. And it helps to nourish and detox the liver, which is super important. And that's just like a side benefit. The liver is, as I said, the detox organ of the body and the fat-burning organ of the body. So if our liver is kind of sluggish, which it can be, just
then your weight loss will be sluggish, and your metabolism and your energy, and it's a cyclical pattern.
Exactly.
What's incredible about this product line, it is years in the making. We put a team of doctors together and the best chemists to come up with the formulation. It's not just the ingredients, but where they're sourced. It's the combination, it's the ratio, and it's so easy. And the molecular structure where it's so easily absorbed into the body. And that is the key to healthy weight loss and energy.
And so next week, we'll come back with Skinny Boost, and we'll tell you all about that.
Ooh, so excited. And so you go to skinnyline.com, and we also have a special present for you, Skinny 10. You get 10% off and all kinds of goodies. Yeah. So please jump on. If you have any questions, please let us know. We have a chat. We'd love you to call the show, and it's just so much fun. We're really excited. We're taking you through the journey with you.
Go to theskinnyline.com and you can read about all our products. And a promo code is all caps, skinny10, number 10.
One thing over the years, so many of my clients said they wish they had a personal stylist. They wish they had a personal nutritionist, functional nutritionist. They wish they had their own trainer to go around with them. I feel like we are now everyone's team. So please call in and we'll answer all your questions. And then just grab Skinny Spritz in your purse and you're good to go.
Don't leave home without it.
Don't leave home without it.
It can fit in your handbag, your fanny pack, so no
even
excuses.
A little pouch.
With your cell phone, that's all you need.
In your boot.
So we especially want to thank everyone for listening today. And thank you, Joan London, for our incredible guest. 1, 2, 3. Ladies, it's not our fault.
It's our hormones and high heels.
Woo! Have a healthy day.
This program sponsored by Balance 3H Plus Medical Weight Loss and Aesthetic Spa for Women.